Call to order the Madison Local School Board meeting for March 15th, 2016. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Vaccarella, roll call, please.
Larry Armstrong.
Here.
Jacqueline Haspel.
Here.
Sean Douglas.
Here.
Michelle Hayes.
Here.
Kelly Tromba.
Okay, and can I get an approval of the agenda, please? So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Vaccarella?
Larry Armstrong.
Yes.
Jacqueline Haspel.
Yes.
Sean Douglas.
Yes.
Michelle Hayes.
Yes.
Kelly Tromba.
Yes.
Vote is 5-0.
Thank you. Can I get an approval of the minutes for the regular meeting from February 2nd, 2016? I'll second. Okay, roll call?
Jacqueline Haspel.
Yes.
Sean Douglas.
Yes.
Michelle Hayes.
Yes.
Kelly Tromba.
Yes.
Larry Armstrong.
Yes.
Vote is 5-0.
Also an approval for the minutes for the special meeting from January 29th, 2016.
I'll move. Second.
And roll call, please?
Sean Douglas.
Yes.
Michelle Hayes.
Yes.
Kelly Tromba.
Yes.
Larry Armstrong.
Yes.
Jacqueline Haspel.
Yes.
Vote is 5-0.
Thank you. And do we have any board member reports this evening?
I thought the National Honor Society breakfast this year was as wonderful as it always is. That you had said the costumes the kids came in, were
They were so cute, so excited. It was such a
very
great
pretty
day.
dressed up this year.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all the kids, and we extend our thank yous to the staff. And a nice breakfast in that evening.
Because we've got the bus out there, if it's okay with you, I thought we would do the bus tour now so that we can get that on,
Sure.
tape while it's still light enough, and, Mike then coming on his way because he has to get up pretty early to start those buses and check them in the morning, so.
Would it make some sense to do the that Mr. Driggs is here for so that he can attend to the?
Oh, that's true too. We could do his first, then we'll do, yes,
I promise to be quick.
it's quick, it's good.
Okay. I wanted to present to the board, first of all, I'm wearing another hat. I am the chairman this year of the Madison Joint Recreation District. So, as you may or may not know, the school board puts 3 members on that board. I'm one of the members from the school board group. So, it's my turn to be the chairperson. And what we wanted to do is, I wanted to bring you up to date. It was the 30th anniversary of the rec board last year. So what we did is we came up with a resolution from the rec board, and I won't read it because I don't have my glasses. But it's made out to the 5 original board members that were sitting 30 years ago. So it's a resolution of appreciation to Mr. Frank Aruda, Mr. Edgar Levine, Mr. David Foote, Mr. Robert Legan, and Mr. Robert Wicker. So I'm going to present these to you in hopes that, as a good teacher that I am, give you some homework to see if we can't find these 5 individuals and maybe get them to them. I would like to see. But that was just in recognition of the 30 years. The second thing I came to do is 2 years ago we did a fundraiser along with the MCIC. And the idea was to raise money to help with the ground that we cleared behind the middle school. We held on to the money for almost 2 years now, trying to see how that was going to all play out. Now that we're going to move forward with putting the cross-country course in there, we now have an idea that what we'd like to see go in, and I've done this now with my athletic director hat on, something similar to this. Now this may or may not be what we do, but it's, I think, what we would like to do. And the idea is to make it something that the community and our phys ed classes could possibly use. And to put these stations out there. They work with your body weight. There's hinges with them, and basically what you can do is, as you can see, you can get up to 25, 30 users possibly on each machine or within the circuit. And that way, it's something that the community could use if they're gonna be walking the trails at all, and it's something that our students could use, phys ed classes. Even our sporting teams could go out there and then they can devise workouts and things like that. So, once we came up with this idea, what we think as a rec board would work, we're proud to present the Madison School District with a check for $7,000. So, I guess it's yours to do what you want with. We would hope, I guess, from the rec board to the school board that this would be something that would go into improving and making something available for the public in the back of the middle school. So, Mrs. Smith, I will present this to you. All right. Sorry, I didn't have a big check, but I'll leave it.
I know, that's all right, you got the check and it makes it to the bank.
And then, I guess, our last update that I just wanted to give you, just from what the rec board's doing. We're meeting with all the youth leagues, trying to get an assessment for what they're doing, both capital improvements to fields and just their regular operating revenue for sponsoring teams, equipment, that kind of stuff. We've met with the village, I've met with the village, I've met with the township. We had an athletic council meeting last week, so I talked to Mrs. Smith about, sort of what the rec board wants to do. And we feel like, as a rec board, we're kind of at a crossroads as to our relevancy. We're not funded by any of the three entities anymore. Nobody has a line item in their budget to give money to the rec board. So we have come to the conclusion that without funds, we don't know what our function is. So I just found a website that had more than 100 grants listed on it. So my first step's going to be the grant writer, as both the athletic director for the schools and as the chairperson of the rec district. And we'll see what we can accomplish there. We don't know if a levy would be something we would consider. We're going to examine that as a rec board. We want to come up with a 3-year plan so that we have a vision and a direction as to where we're going, so it's not flying by the seat of our pants as to what the next chairperson would like the rec board to do. So we're going to start working on that plan, and hopefully by the fall, we'll kind of have an idea where we want to go, what we think is relevant, what the feedback is from the youth community, the sports, the recreation, and then we're going to see if we can't get something working for everyone. And the schools tend to supply quite a bit of the facilities, as does the township. So we don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know if it's going to be for like I said, capital improvements, or if it's just going to be for day-to-day kind of league and operating expenses kind of thing. So we'll kind of see where that goes, and hopefully if the grants come through, then we can do it just with grant money. We don't have to worry about levies and things like that. So we'll kind of see where that's at. But that's sort of what the rec district wanted to, touch base with you guys and let you know what we're doing. Are you saying anything, Terry?
That's 7,000, 2,000 of that was from PAL, who
Okay.
donated to us.
There you go.
We've been holding on to it for so long.
Okay, so yeah, Hal gave us 2, and we got the other 5. So
How should we rate the other 5?
we did it through the fundraiser with the MCIC. It was 2 years ago. It was at the Roberta's.
Yes.
And
The Roaring
it was the
Twenties.
Roaring
Yeah, the
Twenties
Roaring
night.
Twenties, that's what I thought.
So,
Well, and I'm appreciative of this, and the athletic council met, and we talked about when it would be a good time to have community dedication for when these fields are done. And because of, it'll probably finish up, late spring, early summer, we figured it in August, as events are starting to kick back up and people are in that school frame of mind. We will pull our partners, because Lake Health has helped. The Lake Health money we've gotten has helped contribute to that. The school district, the rec board, and have a big community dedication and invite the community to come out and use the fields and, and to do it right. So,
Okay. May I ask, this looks fantastic, but did you guys put together a cost for what this is?
I wanted to make sure that that you guys have the money first, that the school district has the money. I kind of wanted, hopefully you guys can give feedback to Mrs. Smith as to what you think. I mean, you guys may have a whole different idea. It's hard to speak for the schools when we're the rec board. So I try to wear the correct hat when I'm making these decisions. So I guess if with your blessing, if this is something that you feel, you guys may just want a playground for the kids. I don't know what your vision is.
sure.
But I am going to get quotes on this just to see where it's at and see what we can get for our $7,000, and then, see ultimately if your goal is to say, let's do a whole circuit and 7 only covers half, then we either have to piece it together or we'll have to come up with a plan.
The other thing we'd have to discuss, and certainly we'd have to discuss it, but I would just question, I know that unfortunately, when the soccer league had put up some new goals over there, within just a short amount of time of them being there, they've been vandalized.
Yeah.
And, you know, if this is going to be open to the community at all times, is it, you know, extremely durable, sturdy?
The research I did is, this company's actually from Minnesota, and they make their equipment for that type of climate. So I think climate-wise, we're gonna be okay. I guess anything could be vandalized, but this seems to be steel construction. Of the three companies that I've looked at, this was by far like something that really looked like it would work for us.
Thank you.
Are we on the, I'm sorry, are we on the schedule for any cross-country meets next year?
Well, what's, I just, after athletic council last week, we are going to host the You Want to Come Back on site now, which is our one invitational that we do. So we'll open up for a middle school race as well. The middle school traditionally is run at Camp Stiglandish. I imagine they may want the option of running on that course. And then we'll see where it goes from there. I know that Lakeland gave up the district meet for the OHSAA last year. Willoughby South took it over. And Willoughby South is going to be doing some construction coming out that they passed their levy last fall. So there's a chance that we may end up hosting an OHSAA event for them as well. We'll see where it goes. But yes, we're going to move our one invitational to our home course for our property.
When are we anticipating being able to do that?
According to Pat Smith, everything's going to be ready to roll this spring, so the race will be in October.
And then and I realize I'm asking you questions partially as the rec board guy and then partially as our athletic director.
Which answer you want?
If this, our intention was to have all of this open to the community as well.
Mm-hmm.
When we're using it for cross-country, have we planned, and I don't know if it would be for you or Mrs. Smith, but have we planned some sort of sign that we're going to be posting that can be changed, letting people know when the course availability is?
My guess would be the simplest thing to do is probably tell the public that you have to defer to the school teams, and watch the after-school hours. But then, dinner time on, I would think that it would be open to the public.
We'll work to communicate.
Yeah, we can sort of work that out. I don't know what we feel as a school district about people being out back there during school hours and things like that. If potentially if phys ed class goes out there, there could be something. I don't know. That's something I think we should consider. But weekends and I would think evenings would be the problem.
Thank you for all your efforts. This is wonderful.
I'm so excited. You don't know how excited I am for this project. As many of you know, I've paraded that sign around quite a bit. So to see this come to fruition is great for the community and, our credibility as we go forward with this project and to get these kids off the road. I mean, it's not going to eliminate it all the time because in cross country they like that diversity of the course, but, we've got a safe place to run now at least. All right. Well, are we ready to go outside and see what's?
Sure. All right.
Look at the bus and then I'm gonna head out.
I don't want to be in no video unless I'm holding a dead bee.
Oh, I love that new smell.
It's changed a lot.
They have really.
Smells
I don't
new,
know,
like
the
a new
seats
car.
kind of look smaller to me.
Yeah, that's like I remember when seatbelts is always such an issue with
Let's
buses.
get on with the rest of our agenda. Maggie Lynch is here, Superintendent of Auburn Theater Center. She's sort of doing a road show around the various districts that feed into Auburn and wants to give an update to everybody, so.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the board and for Angela allowing me to come. And I have a little presentation, so I'll work through it. And the first thing I owe you all is an apology. But sometimes, you can have a certain framework of mind and something changes your mind and you realize you have to look at things differently. Uh, 3 years ago, the state of Ohio changed the way board members are appointed to the Auburn Career Center Board. The 5 original Lake County ESC members that started the Auburn Career Center are still part of our board. But in terms of the Geauga County and Fairport Harbor members that joined us in the 80s, they always had one of their board members assigned to cover the meetings. Well, the rule changed in 2013 that those board members now can appoint someone that's in the community that's familiar with workforce, might be representing an industry, to kind of support the initiative that Career Center's job is really to prepare for the workforce and be in economic development. Well, we now are almost at the end of 3 years, and I gave a report to my board that alerted them that 9 of our board members are going to be finishing their first-year term in December 2016. And a board member now in our Career Center can only serve 2 terms of 3 years each, and then they have to go off. So that this is going to cause a deliberate rotation, not necessarily in equal numbers, because it was all based on their elected terms. So they're going to have this rotation. Well, when that began, I decided I better go back and report to the boards what is new with Auburn and give an update. And then it clicked. I have never come to your board meetings before to give you an Auburn update. So what I'm planning to do is continue to circulate twice a year to all of the board members and the board meetings to help you understand what is happening. So today I didn't want to take up your entire meeting, although I've been known to have a few words, but I wanted to at least let you know what is happening in terms of enrollment and to thank you all for your support of Auburn Career Center in terms of our student body. Right now, this year, we have 53 juniors and 42 seniors that are participating at Auburn Career Center for a total of 95 students. And we're very grateful. That is the district highest total out of all the 11 districts that feed to our center. 9 of the students are participating in internships. That is a feature that we're trying to do to transition students to get that extra experience. And 2 of those students have participated in 2 internship responsibilities. So when they graduate, not only do they have their program industry certs, but then internships that add to their resume and portfolio. Some of the companies from Madison community that has been helping to sponsor internships for the students, because we try to place them closer to where they are, include South Shores Controls, and they have been wonderful for the IT students as well. Classic Chrysler, Classic Ford, Frank's Auto Body, and they've been wonderful for auto tech and collision repair. The student featured in the previous picture there is working at Frank's Auto Body as well. North Coast Perennials, we have had interns placed here within your own school district. Bentley Excavating. We do have a construction program that has used that. For the past 3 years, the enrollment has been somewhat consistent. In 2014-15, we had 60. This current year, we have 53, and we have 53 that have signed up for next year. I have arranged for you to see what are the various programs that the students from Madison are participating in. And it's a great diversity. We have 23 programs, so you can see that there isn't really an influx to one particular type of a program. So it's a wonderful reflection of the student interest. From advanced manufacturing, even though we know that this is an industry that is in great demand, we still have a difficult time recruiting students to participate, even though we have companies that hold the open house and we're trying to recruit the parents. Some of the more high demand job fields are still very difficult to fill. The other one that is a high demand, HVAC though, however, is a high number of students from Madison. The other program that has a high student enrollment from Madison would be the sports medicine program. Now, this year, Auburn Career Center partnered with Lakeshore Compact to recruit students for career and technical education in non-competing programs. The governor's initiative has been that we need to bring career tech education down to grades 7 and 8 and begin to do career awareness in the elementary schools. The obvious being that if we can help students understand what their goal is for their career, that would help their education make more sense. And if we give enough exposure during the high school years, then when they go to college, they will be targeting their tuition to something that they really want, or immediately go into employment where the company might reimburse them. The dilemma of college credit debt is certainly something that everyone is trying to eliminate and feel that more clarification toward career and the reason that you go to school is to get a job, that this would be a help. This year I'm showing you a new initiative which is helping us to keep track of College Credit Plus. This has been a new initiative that has been a surprise to most school districts. In our sports medicine program last year, where we had 15 students, and you can see from the previous slide, 8 of Madison students wanted to participate. We now have one of the Madison students that would like to do College Credit Plus.
Is that slide though, because it says Berkshire, so I want to make sure those are our numbers?
Oh, there are your numbers.
Okay.
I did it.
Yeah,
I've been templating, and so my mistake of still templating, copying from the cut paste, but they are your numbers because I had to add every single one to customize a presentation for every single school. But the thing is that we had 15 sports medicine applicants in June, and when we came back, because College Credit Plus goes all summer, we only had 6 students left in the program. So this year what we did was on our application, we put down College Credit Plus so that they could begin to see what will our enrollment possibly look like. And we're not really sure what that will look like. However, the one thing that we would want to do is to realize that our associate districts already are sending us students at an expense to the district. Because it's a half-day program, half of the $80 goes to Auburn to cover that. That's done through EMIS. But with the College Credit Career Tech courses, what we're trying to do is utilize actually the students that can go to Auburn could also get College Credit Plus. And that would help them continue to have a choice for Auburn and not have a choice to go either just to Lakeland and skip Auburn, or go to Auburn and skip College Credit Plus. So we also want College Credit Plus, and we also want Career Tech to happen for students, and we want to keep Career Tech to be a choice for Auburn Career Center. To do that, we did realize the cost of College Credit Plus would be on the district, so our board made and passed the motion that we would approve the payment of College Credit Career Tech semester courses for all students attending Auburn Career Center effective beginning the 2016-17 year. So what we're going to do is for those students that are eligible for College Credit Plus and attend Auburn is to help pay for that. So therefore, whether it's the tuition, whether it's the books, whether it's the tools, when the district is invoiced, they send the invoice to us for anything that has to do with the Career Tech portion, and we will reimburse that district. We feel that the only fair thing we can do is to share in the cost of this initiative that is accelerating students through the college years. We have on our staff right now 9 faculty members that are adjunct faculty members at Kent State, Cuyahoga Community College, Lakeland, and so we had them vetted by the Lakeland staff, and so we have now, out of them, they had a choice as to whether or not they wanted to add College Credit Plus to their courses. We're going to be adding 5 courses that have in the different programs. For instance, the accounting, Introduction to Financial Accounting is a 4-credit course. Angela Nelson, our business management technology teacher, will be incorporating that throughout the first year of the junior year. Computers and information would be part of our information support and services, part of our information technology training and internet programming, and the health teachers, Susan Leffler and Chris Tredden, will be adding this to both allied health and patient care technology. So we're trying to begin to have an example for the teachers that they could expand on this. We're in the process of having other teachers to become part of it. Currently, every single course that we offer has to have articulated credit, a minimum of 3. But some of them are up to 18 credit hours, such as the Advanced Manufacturing Program. Because of the quality of the programs and the certificates, when the student would go from Auburn to Lakeland's admission, they would then get that. If they have a B average, they get those 18 hours added to their course to reduce their time at Lakeland. The difference is that, unfortunately, this will also save tuition dollars and College Credit Plus for the parent. Our concern as we look to the future is College Credit Plus also begins in grade 7 and 8. And that's the same time Career Tech begins in grade 7 and 8. So we want to work with the school district to help both of those initiatives mature together. So whether or not we'll be helping Madison local schools initiate perhaps some courses back at the middle school or the high school, we want to be a part of that and see what can we do. All of the courses have to be within a pathway, and we want to be a part of that information. We do a lot of that sharing right now. We have annual visits with our principal, with your principals as well. So you might say, why do we want to do that? Just generously be a good partner and a financial partner. One reason would be we want to have parents be able to continue choosing Auburn Career Center and not see it as less than a value of education that we would also support the same way as this has an impact on your district. Second, we're also hoping that it'll end some of the negative stigma. Some people still look at Auburn Career Center as the school of the 60s when we started, that it isn't really the high-tech and high-quality students that is needed by business and industry. We have over 600 companies that are affiliated with our district, and we have monthly employer open house where they can come in and begin to sit in the classroom, get to know the students, and we want them to have that partnership. We have a signing day in May, not for athletics, but one for a job, where they get a job, and like, for instance, WageLec, for the manufacturing, gives students a job at $15 an hour. By January, they're good, they're promoted to $17 an hour and on the track, and then they get a signing bonus for all full college credit and payment of tuition. So there's a lot of advantages of blending this type of an experience into the family. By reimbursing the associate district for the cost of Career Tech College, we're doing what is our specialty, which is career technical courses, and we're not having the burden hopefully fall back on the district. Because College Credit Plus does not have any limits to what the courses could be selected by the student, we're trying to help encourage them, if you want college credit for career tech, come on to Auburn. One of the regretful things is Beth Cooney, who's been a teacher here for 16 years, is coming back to our district. She's a wonderful teacher, enthusiastic. And I know that this is a great loss to the Madison district. It's an economic decision that we're making, partly because of her seniority, to bring her back. We have vacancies which we can use her technology, and as we all know, funding is not getting more, it's getting less. And that decision was a hard decision. We're weaning her away, and the only legacy we could leave behind are the computers after she leaves. But we're trying to at least do that as fairly. Should it come that there is another partnership in terms of career tech courses coming back, she may come back. But I know that she has had a little bit of divided heart. So when I said I'm coming to the school board, what do you want me to say? So tell them I miss them and that I'm grateful that I was here for 16 years. I didn't know if you had any questions. I'd be glad to answer them if I can. It's a lot to throw at you.
I don't have any questions. I just want to praise Auburn Career Center. My son went there 5 years ago. He got out of school, immediately went into a job working with computers, which is what he went to Auburn for. He has done very, very well. He's supporting himself. I couldn't be more thrilled with the education that he got there. And he also had Beth Cooney here at Madison as well, and she was wonderful. And so we will be very sad to see her go. I understand, and I appreciate you leaving behind the computers. That's a plus.
It's a sad legacy to leave.
But honestly, I couldn't have better things to say about Auburn, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? I will be coming back to help you update. I didn't want to give a history lesson, I just wanted to kind of take it where life is right now and then move forward and then just try to move with that. But I want to thank you very much for this opportunity to come and the chance to be part of your community for this evening.
I
Thank you
appreciate
very much.
the working partnership we have had with Maggie all these years is a very good one, and we've collaborated on a lot of things together. From the Project Lead the Way initially, she was pivotal with Auburn, getting that started in Madison to, you know, even this year when she said, you know, Beth, I'm gonna have to pull Beth Cooney, and she worked with us to at least keep her half-time so that it wasn't such a hit on our schedule for the year. So Maggie has been a wonderful partner with the Madison schools and the programs that she offers, so.
Thank you very much.
We have had a lot of dialogue about introducing career exploration in the younger years, and even in our high school, you know, we feel like there's some places that we can do better. So as you guys are, you know, developing your thought processes along the lines of what that might look like, you know, coming from the Auburn Career Center, we'd love to hear your feedback.
Well, and to be honest, one of the strategies of bringing Beth back is not that her services are not needed, but we can anticipate a shift of different personnel possibly coming out. This year we have Judy Falcone meeting with all the elementary school principals and introducing activities to help that grow. We have added Liz Steve. She is our middle school. She goes out and does the various career tests and inventory. But we would anticipate that we need to allocate more career development services to the district to help, so we can anticipate a reshuffling of that. But thank
Would
you.
be interesting.
Just recently, our sixth graders went on a trip to
Yes.
Auburn. And my sixth grade son came home telling me what he wants to go to Auburn for. He was talking to my third grade daughter, and she's already telling me that she wants to go to Auburn. I'm saying absolutely, that's fantastic. I personally, I think Auburn is a great start. Even for those who want to go to college, because, you know, my children are not ever going to have their college paid for completely. They're going to have to work their way through college, and what better way than to have a skill and be able to get a decent paying job while you're continuing your education.
We do our postgraduate completion. We're rated on whether or not they get a job, go to school, go to the military. We have a 97% placement rate. However, 87% of our students that leave us within the first year are going to school and working simultaneously. We truly encourage that. We really preach, please stay out of college credit debt if you can. The college tuition debt is disabling individuals from having a full life. A young man I know had gone to private college, didn't do well, went to Tri-C. He joined the Navy, but the amount of debt that he incurred in that year and a half, he had to pay down in order to get a security clearance to be in the service, to be on one of the submarines. So that consequence of college debt is, by federal law, a ratio of your security clearance for any kind of a defense work or government job. But it never occurred to me that that could happen in the armed forces. But they are not exempt from the law as well. So that is one of the messages. We are not either or. Many times it's and both of college and career. But we really know that in our life, our experiences in the workplace can never be enough to help us shape our careers. And as we look back, we know our careers kind of just don't come from just thinking we have one job in mind. It's once you get into the workplace and you learn more about the ranges of jobs that can help you with your pathway to become more fulfilled. See, I told you I could talk forever. I'll just give one more commercial before I leave. We're going to be so happy. We're in a partnership with the iSTEM school that is located on our campus. But through that grant, we have been able to create a mobile Fab Lab. And we can hardly wait for this Fab Lab to come out to all the schools to help, again, with the middle school students to be able to have access to the 3D printer, the ultraviolet printers. And so we're anxious to have that on the road and we can park it and let it, the students kind of have some of those enriched experiences that will help them to have some of those career opportunities. So I'm looking forward to that. So maybe I can bring it out to a board meeting and try to follow up on it.
We'll go outside and take a tour of it.
I was just gonna say, but thank you very, very much for the time that you have given me, and thank you for the praise that you have said. I'll share that with my staff and my board members when I get back.
And do tell Beth we're gonna miss her.
I know, and she comes broken hearted. I know, and she is talking to me though, and as much as she can adjust. She loved it. I used to come out here to evaluate her, and she just absolutely loves it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Maggie. Okay, so we're on to our first public participation on agenda items only. If there's anything on the agenda that anyone in the audience would like to speak on, please stand, state your name and address. Okay, there will be another public participation at the end of the meeting that you can address us regarding any topic. And on to reports of the recommendations of the treasurer.
Thank you. I have two items I want to discuss prior to the one action item on the agenda. We got notice that our natural gas prices are going down again, which is great news. We're a member of the Ohio School Council. We group purchase our natural gas. And they anticipate that our gas prices next year will be about half the cost that they were 2 years ago. We already have been on a premium holiday for natural gas since July for the buildings that are in the program. So that's about a savings of over $9,000 per month. So it's just another way that we've been saving money here forever by being a part of the Ohio School Council. You'll see we're buying buses through them. So anytime we can group purchase anything, school districts are real good at doing that. The other item is the audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2015. Finally completed. They released it in mid-February. This is the first televised meeting since it's been released. I did voice my concern with the Auditor of State's office that an audit for a year ending in June is being released 7 months later. I think our taxpayers deserve better service from the Auditor of State's office, and I believe we will get it next year. They had some issues with some staffing, and there's other types of reports they like to put in front of ours. I told them there's no reason they can't be in here in July and get ours done by mid-September. But as far as the audit goes, it's a clean audit, except for the fact that we don't file on generally accepted accounting principles. And we do that because it'll cost us between $15,000 and $18,000 a year to do that conversion and then have them come in and audit. So we are on the cash basis, which everybody understands cash anyhow. To produce an audit in a principle that nobody other than accountants understand really doesn't do any good. So it's clean, there's no material defects, and there were no management letter comments this year. They had one verbal comment that before they even got out of the end of the hallway we had corrected. It had to do with outstanding checks from the old computer system. We were just waiting till they got in so we could discuss what we should do with them. And they said, well, we have a verbal comment. I said, well, let's discuss it. We released the outstanding checks back to those funds where they came from. And so that was the only comment they had, which I think is great. It just shows the dedication of not only my staff, but Angela's staff, Pat's staff, Dave Bull's staff, the principals in the buildings, the secretaries, the athletic department. We handle a lot of cash in this district. You know, our budget's $35 million, but a good piece of that is, you know, cash that comes in on a Friday night football game, on a Saturday basketball game. And the auditor has all sorts of rules, which are great rules for depositing money and purchasing in the district, and we follow the rules. You know, it would only take one person to really screw up to make this audit look bad. So, you know, while I guess the treasurer's office gets the credit, it's really the entire district has to be pulling the same way in order to get a clean audit. So, on behalf of them, I want to thank them because it makes my job a lot easier when we don't have to go chasing people who aren't following the rules and regulations that we put forth. I'm going to have that posted on the website tomorrow. I'm not a big fan of letting it go out to the public before the board gets it. It's out on the Auditor Estates website, and it's been for a couple months, but it's a little better if we can put a link on our website so people can see it. And as always, if anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a call. Be happy to talk to them about the audit all day long.
My only question, I totally understand why we do not do the GAAP accounting. But we do get a fine for that, do we not? And I know the
When
fine
they
is
remember to bill us.
the fine is much cheaper than what it would cost us to do it. I'm just curious as to what the fine was.
$750.
Okay.
Yeah, and issuing it on the cash basis hasn't inhibited us from issuing debt. We did the entire bond issue on a cash basis financial statement. Like I said, they understand cash.
Sure. And just so everyone understands, it's a $750 fine versus the $15,000 it would cost us
Correct.
to do it the other way.
Right.
Thank you.
And it doesn't provide any more comfort on the internal controls, because the internal controls, whether they're cash or generally accepted accounting principles, are exactly the same. It's just the numbers within the body of the statement.
Thank you.
Sure. The one item I have on the agenda for approval is to approve the financial reports for all funds, fund-to-fund transfer report, and the check payment register for February 2016.
So moved.
One second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Michelle Hayes,
Yes.
Kelly Tromba,
Yes.
Larry Armstrong,
Yes.
Jacqueline Asbill,
Yes.
Sean Douglas,
Yes.
vote is 5-0. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Reports of the administrative team.
All right, I have several things tonight. First, Dave is in Columbus at the Title I conference. He took a couple of our Title I teachers down. It's a good conference for them to pick up on interventions, different ideas, and then he gets to learn all the rules of federal programs, which I don't miss. Couple things, strategic planning update. I had a wonderful meeting with a very small work group on Friday. Mike Howery, pastor from Crossroads Community Church, Kim, and I can never say her name, from Key Bank, Mr. Fisher, our high school principal, myself, Dave Bull, and Susan broke down on Friday. We started breaking down into user-friendly language the strategic plan. Well, when you're starting to talk language as an English teacher, I love this stuff. 3 hours got us through 2 goals. So we have 2 more goals, plus the safety goal that we want to add to talk about on Friday. We're hoping in 3 hours, we blocked out another 3-hour block of time to do that. That group felt we needed to pull together that group that met on February 29th back here before break. So I'm proposing a meeting Monday evening. Is that doable? If not, I can put it.
This coming Monday?
Yeah, the 21st.
Let me send a quick text message. I still have my grandchildren because their mother is out of state right now, visiting a grandparent. So let me just see if I can get someone to watch them that evening. It'll be just 1 second here.
Mhm. 21st would be 6:30 here. I do a light supper again. I don't think it should go as long as the last time, because basically what we're gonna do is put everybody together and, you know, each person that was part of that work group, sort of maybe in a smaller group, facilitate. Does this convey what the original goal, you know, conveyed in user-friendly terms? You know, we wanna make sure we didn't lose the essence of what we were trying to do with the goals. Get that feedback. Then I'd like to have the parent groups back in to look at it, and then do that community group then immediately sometime after spring break, looking at what all the different dates are. Looking to have the whole thing ready for you to approve on April 19th. So that, it's an ambitious timeline, but I feel that we're at that point where we can get it, it's right where it needs to be to get it done.
In all honesty, as much as I would like to be here, you guys can still certainly have the meeting on Monday if I, can't make it.
So if I have 4 board members here, though, I will need a meeting notice, and so I want to make sure that we do that and have it all ready to go. So, all right, you're okay with that? We'll schedule it for Monday?
Yeah, you can schedule it. I'm hoping if he can't, actually, he already responded, and yes, he can keep the children for me, so I can make it.
All right, so Monday evening, the 21st, we will call that group back together. One other meeting change that I'm asking for, pre-K graduation the last couple of years has been at the middle school. We've broken it up into 2 nights, but the last year, it just didn't flow the way it used to flow when we had it all at the high school. So we would like to move pre-K graduation back to the high school, but it would have to be after graduation because graduation is the 21st this year. Well, the date that is available with everybody pre-K and not messing up the last day of school, which is the 25th, is Tuesday, May 24th, which is a board meeting date. So I'm asking if we could move the board meeting date to May 31st so that we can accommodate pre-K graduation. I know some board members like to be there, I like to be there, I know Pat will be there, and it would be at the high school.
Is the day after Memorial Day?
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 31st.
Right.
You're not able? If not, do we have a meeting scheduled the first Tuesday in June already?
In June?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, on the 7th.
So, I mean, if we have our meeting early in May and then do that meeting in June, I think we'll be fine. I don't think there's anything that pressing that has to happen usually at the May meeting.
I'll still be crying after graduation, so we can skip that meeting.
The other option is the 24th. As things get closer, if there ends up being things that we need to talk about. Well, the 24th is when you want to do it. The
Right.
17th, we could always do this, back it up a week too.
I think we moved that because that was the senior recognition. That's the
Okay.
problem.
That's our awards.
Yeah, it gets really busy.
It is really busy, so, at this point, then we won't have a meeting, the second meeting in May. If we need something, maybe we could do a morning meeting or something like that, if something comes up that is that pressing. Okay?
Then I will have the May update of the 5-year forecast to you at the business meeting in April instead of the first meeting in May to review. So I just moved that.
Will that work out? I mean,
Yeah.
that's not pushing your timeline?
No.
How much is that putting into that April board meeting?
Well, the 5-year forecast, we can move, the approval will happen in May still. I just have to have it approved and submitted by the end of May. And if we don't know if we're going to have a meeting at the end of the month, I better have it approved in May 3rd.
Sure, but are you planning on doing a presentation and that sort of thing like you usually
For
do?
the May update, not really, because we only, we refine some numbers, but I don't dig in as deep as I do for the original one in October.
That's fine, I was just trying, if you're going to do a presentation, I was just trying to not do that the third, the second meeting in April, just because it's gonna end up being a big meeting, I think.
And with that said, award season officially began last week with National Honor Society. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Susan put together a nice visual calendar with everything. Because even though these are wonderful, if I don't see the whole month mapped out and know that I've got this night, it gets a little crazy. So I'm going to have her put together a calendar, color-coded high school, middle school. I think, can't remember the exact date, I think it's the 21st, is the band concert for Christy May. That will be her final performance. I know they've got some things planned for her there, because they absolutely said it won't happen at the banquet. So I want to make sure everybody has, it on one nice calendar, so look for it. If it's not this Friday, it'll be before we go on spring break next week, and I will have a nice calendar for you. Just an update, because I know I updated you in the newsletter, but thought I would, talk about it here. Had a great meeting last week with Detective Doyle, Chief Byers, and Chief Shannon. We really want to work on a curriculum that will be infused not as an add-on, but within what we do with our teachers. So we'll be bringing the teachers together with Detective Doyle to incorporate it into a vibrant curriculum. We're to set that meeting up probably the week after spring break, where I can have the PE teachers and the health teachers in to talk about it. And see what they do, what he can add to it, the things he wants to add to it. They're very real, they're very raw, depending upon the level. And so there will be parent permission. We'll probably do a parent, kind of like we did with Eddie the Eagle last year, but do a parent, information night, so people will at least have the opportunity to know what we're going to be teaching their kids and what kinds of programming there is. Elections, we had one call today about having school. We did assure them that, once you approve this calendar, there won't be school on election day next year, but that seemed to curtail the calls from the fall, especially at South, because we had 2 officers, plus the SRO there. As you said, you felt very secure going in to vote today. And we have an officer in this building as well. And I just want to give you one more update on the infusion of Madison. Actually, there's 2 things. Mike can address the second one. But the first one, along with the performance audit, because we're showing a deficit in year 2018, greater than 2%, Roger used to have to write a letter to the state saying how we were going to correct that deficit. Well, I get a call a week and a half ago, Friday, from a regional coordinator that says, well, I need this letter by next week. I'm like, what letter are you talking about? Well, you have to write this letter, talking about how you're going to fix the deficit. Well, they had the wrong superintendent. First of all, I am not a guy, last I looked. Wrong Madison listed. And then they said, well, we sent one to your treasurer because I can't spell his name. I would never pass his spelling bee. I saw it at the bottom, and I forwarded him the email. I said, did you get this? He goes, well, I never got it because my name's not spelled right. So I then called the next week because I thought they want a letter that was due. They sent this out in November to the wrong Madison, and they wanted it by the beginning of February. So I finally said, you know what, I'm not just jumping to do this. I'm going to call them first. So I talked to the person whose signature was on the letter last week, and he said, well, the person that sent those letters out is no longer employed by us. I said, well, I'm going to tell you that I can't have just a 3-day turnaround. I will get it, but I have to, formulate my thoughts and put it in a thoughtful way. And I'm probably not going to do it till it's quiet here during spring break, because to try and do it during the day is, with so many interruptions, you need quiet time to dedicate to that. But I said, you guys, they need to get it together down at the ODE, because it's not our fault there are 3 or 4 Madisons. Our IRNs are all different. I have long learned since I've been in central office, 047886, that's Madison's IRN, and whenever I call down there, I use that number so that they know who they're talking to. And then he got an email from...
On Friday, I got an email from the Department of Education. They wanted to do a desk audit of one of our federal programs and an on-site review of the food service program. And I was getting all worked up, and I told Angela, how many more audits are we going to go through, because we already had our financial audit, which crawls through our federal programs. We had the on-site food service one. So as we're talking, I get another email. Please ignore wrong Madison. So.
You think that's bad? It was before you came here. We were served with a lawsuit, a sexual harassment lawsuit.
For the wrong Madison.
For the wrong Madison, with our names on it. But I was reading through the suit, and the employees they were talking about weren't our employees, so they had to go to the lawyer to get that squared away. But it's frequently confused.
Well, right, and probably the worst was when some of our money went to another Madison, and they did not have to send it back. So, yeah. So, that's all I have on my report. I will praise Mrs. Liebert after she talks about what she's going to talk about in her report, so go ahead.
If you don't mind, real quick, And I should have mentioned this during board member reports, but since you're putting out the dates, just recently, we have had some students in Madison been pulled from Madison because they're being pulled from their homes and being put into foster care. I feel like we need more foster homes in Madison. I had asked Sean if he could reach out to someone at Job and Family Services that he works with, and he did. And they've agreed to come to Madison to do a presentation and talk about foster parenting. I just want to make sure that everyone else is okay with that. And the dates she's pretty much said that the middle school gym was open anytime after next Friday. Did anyone in particular, I mean, we don't all have to be there, of course, but did anyone in particular have any dates that they would want to do this, or should we talk about it more later?
We should probably talk about it just to narrow down some dates and then determine how we're going to let people know. You know, because I do agree that it's, unfortunately, I think going to be a growing concern that we have.
Sure.
I think it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. And, you know, certainly it's very sad when kids are taken from their home, just traumatic enough, yet having to switch school districts and leave their friends and that sort of thing. If we could keep them close, you know, that would be better. So I think it's a great thing to do, but it's not going to be very effective
If nobody knows
if it's
about
only
it.
us in the room.
Sure.
You know, and that happens frequently when we put things on.
Right,
So
well, and I
we
think
figure out
that,
how to get
yeah, and I
there.
think we need to plan it as far enough in advance that we can, you know, be able to give people, you know, plenty of notice. The gentleman that Sean spoke with, I want to be able to give him like 3 dates that were available that, you know, he could choose from that would fit his schedule.
And this doesn't necessarily need to be a board thing, right? I mean, it's a community.
Right,
It's a community.
absolutely. Other than they would be using our buildings, correct?
Can we combine it with the safety, the spring safety seminar that you did, Angel?
Oh, you mean with some of the PTA meetings? We probably could. I mean, that might be the way to, you know, if they're
Bring
able-
more young families into
Yeah,
that.
people that would be interested in doing that. Because
I
that's
was
where
just
you're
thinking
gonna get the
of
most
where
people,
the
right?
people are, you
Sure.
know, you bring it to them. That's a good time.
I would also talk to Pastor Mike because he may have some good thoughts on people that may be interested in this.
Oh, speaking of Pastor Mike, good thing you reminded me, because I'll have a flyer on this week's newsletter. Clean Streets is May 7th. I know that's prom, but the dates were just so varying things, and then they had their retreat on the 30th of April, so it's a good time for the younger kids to sort of step up and give service, because I'm telling you, those upper class Key Club members and Honor Society kids have been working hard all year, so hopefully we'll get a good turnout. Kiwanis is also going to help us all.
It's a great partnership with them. I'm glad they're coming back.
Yeah, they are, they're just great people. All right.
Okay, special education, there's lots of things happening all the time. But the highlights, we saw the therapy dog coming to South Elementary every month or 2, and as often as we can get her. It's significant for the kids in the autism and ED unit. The teachers have decided to let kids from those units who it's therapy for bring a friend. And so they're able to bring one of the kids from general education classes with them, which then helps that camaraderie and that support, and all kids like a fun dog, you know, and So I would love to find one to be here all the time in all our buildings, but that continues. The big thing that we did was, and you may have gotten, seen the flyers around the building, and it was on the website, but yesterday was a pretty exciting day. David Petrovic and his mom, Sandy Petrovic, came, and this is their book, Expecting a Miracle. David is a young man with autism who graduated college. We've talked about him a couple of times, and is a teacher. He's taking his licensure tests as we speak, but he has been a motivational speaker for the last couple of years. And it's, we brought him out, he spoke to the 8th graders at the middle school yesterday, and we're having about 200 or so 8th graders in their cafetorium. Right after lunch, you could have heard a pin drop. I was very, very proud. I told the 8th graders yesterday how proud I was of them and their attention. He's a very captivating, engaging young man, but our kids were well behaved. He was well received. He spoke for about an hour, and his mom does not speak when he does his talk for the kids. It's just him. And he really made a difference for our kids. He talks about, you know, his path as being a man with autism, and just kind of what his journey has been like, and talked about bullying, talked about feeling alone, and you know, kind of the loneliness that can occur in middle school for typical kids, let alone kids with special needs. So he talked to all of them, not just about special needs. And he did some visualization things, you know, where he asked the kids to close their eyes and raise their hand for different questions he asked them. And over 200 8th graders were quiet in doing it. And it was pretty impressive. And so he did some of that, and then he did something for the boys, and then the girls, he said, you know, he had all the boys raise their hands, and he did something, and then he had all the girls raise their hand, and he said, you are all beautiful, just how you are. And if nobody tells you that, you know, you are. And just because of the self-image is so important at that age. And so there was girls walking out of there with tears in their eyes, and it was an incredible experience. We had one of our students with autism from the middle school who was so incredibly nervous and excited, because I went and brought him up to meet David. And he was very nervous to do that. But I said, it's okay. So we went up, and what was cool was, even before David spoke, this student said, he pointed, and he said, he's autistic just like me. And so then after, when he met him, he's like, you're autistic like I am. And then he went up to his mom, and it was really just an incredible experience for some of our kids with autism and our typical kids. And after the 8th graders went back to their class, 2 boys came up who wanted to meet him and said, I have autism too, I'm high functioning Asperger's. And what a role model he was, how impressive, how they looked up to him. And I mean, these are 8th grade boys who are just really, you know, you would have thought they met, you know, a star athlete or something. It was really incredible. You know, he emphasized, you know, following their dreams. Sports are important. He said sports are great, but do what you want to do. And so then we spoke to him after that, and well, he came back in the evening, spoke to parents, community members. We had quite a few teachers. A lot of North staff came, our related services, our preschool came, and we had a little over 60 people there, which was really impressive for a Monday night for a speaker. It was really that presentation. Mom spoke for probably maybe the first 15 minutes or so, and David spoke the rest. And it was very, very well received. Probably at least half of the people who were there stood in line to meet him and his mom. Many people purchased a book, and I got an email in the afternoon saying I wish he'd come back, you know, and have him talk to 6th grade and 7th grade, and you know how impressive it was. And I think it was a really good message for our gen ed teachers and our gen ed kids to hear. We talked to him afterwards because Tom Brady said he would hire him tomorrow as a sub. and how cool it would be to have him come and sub with our 8th graders. And he is getting his license in middle school. I know it's language arts and social studies.
Yep.
Is it just those two?
Mhm.
And he's not a certified teacher yet, but he can get his substitute teacher license. So I talked to his mom about that for Madison, and we'll approve him as soon as we can. And what a neat addition it would be to have him in our building. So that was pretty exciting with his mom and with him, so it was pretty cool.
I applaud Pat for bringing them. I applaud our students. I mean, 29 years in this business and 9 years teaching 8th grade. You know, when he said, close your eyes, everybody, of course, having taught 8th grade, I kept my eyes open. And our kids, you know, because I wanted to make sure our kids would be inappropriate, and they were all appropriate. And when we got to the end of the talk, like she said, they were as silent as anything I could ever. I mean, you could hear what was going on in the gym across the hall. That's how quiet they were. They were that captivated. They were that respectful, and you know, it was just an amazing presentation. And then in the evening, to see the turnout and to see various people. A lot of people came because they knew someone with autism or someone in their life. Remember, the numbers are 1 in 58 anymore. That you know you're going to encounter somebody somewhere on the spectrum, and so. You know, I'm not surprised that we had that many people because it is such a, especially with older kids, they didn't have the knowledge that we have now in educating students on the spectrum, and it was just very powerful. And when he sang, oh my gosh, his voice, and you know, he said, I'm not nervous up here, I won't tick, I won't have Tourette's on the stage. I thought, I would have Tourette's on the stage if I would do that, you know. He said, this is where I'm home and this is where I'm comfortable. And his memorization, I mean, every slide, he basically had committed to memory. It was very, very powerful. So thank you, Pat, for bringing them. I think there is going to be a partnership in our future with the Petrovics because they did some good things for our students yesterday.
Absolutely. I think the biggest focus and one of the reasons for bringing them out here is autism is so prevalent. And I believe strongly in when people understand more and we can educate the community and educate parents and general education teachers. They're kids, you know, they're people, and to understand some of the differences, the concreteness of their thinking, you know, they think differently. And, you know, so he was very, very clear, honest, forthcoming, and I do it this way. You know, and there's no right and wrongs, and the importance of the arts, you know, the outlets, and throwing education, you know, on its ear just a little bit on, it doesn't have to be this box of reading the chapter and a test in all of this. It doesn't have to be the same way it's always been. And what an opportunity to look at different ways for all our kids. If you learn differently, or to be able to be creative in how we gauge what they learn. You know, could really, I think it helps open eyes to be able to educate. And he's such a great spokesman for the autism spectrum. So it was good. That's all I got.
All right, we'll move right into my recommendations. I have quite a lengthy recommendations section. Under item A, we need to approve the agreement for technology personal services between the Madison Local School District and the Berkshire Local School District for the period April 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017 at a rate of $95,000 per annum for the services provided. Second motion is to approve the agreement for technology personal services between Madison Local Schools and the Newberry Local School District for the period April 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. This one would be for a total of $60,000.
So moved.
Just a little typo, I'll second that. To Berkshire, she'll pay Madison again, the second part.
Oh, she didn't pay attention.
Yeah, it's probably my fault.
Why the difference?
Size of districts, number of kids, number of devices. Did we get a second?
I second.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Kelly Tromba,
Yes.
Larry Armstrong,
Yes.
Jacqueline Aspel,
Yes?
Sean Douglas,
Yes.
Michelle Hayes,
Yes.
vote is 5-0.
I'm sure Newberry would have liked if Berkshire had to pay that contract, right?
Says right here.
Yeah. All right, now the personnel motion, and it makes sense why we did those first and then the personnel motion, because we've got some items related to that. The board is accepting the following resignation. Melissa Dennison, MHS Special Education Assistant, effective March 8th, 2016. We're asking you to approve the following employment contracts. The following substitute teachers is approved by the Lake County Educational Service Center and/or Madison Local School District Superintendent under a one-year limited substitute teaching contract. Hillary Morse and Dennis Thompson. Employee Jessica Elliott under a one-year limited contract as a special education assistant ED unit at South Elementary School for the 2015-16 contract year effective February 22nd, 2016, at a rate of $10.38 per hour. Amy Markinjohn, under a two-year supervisory administrator's contract as literacy specialist effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2018, at a rate of compensation of $68,821.19, paid for by Title IIA funds. Jack Whaley, under a three-year administrative contract at Madison High School, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, at a rate of compensation of $71,359 to reflect an increase of days from his previous contract of 203 annual days to 220 days of service. Julie Guston, under a three-year administrative contract as Madison South Elementary Assistant Principal, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, at a rate of compensation of $62,806 for 203 days of service. Patricia Liebhart, under a three-year supervisory administrator's contract as, actually should say Director of Pupil Services, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, at a rate of compensation of $83,164 to reflect an increase in days from the 205 annual days to 220 annual days of service. William Fisher, under a three-year administrative contract as Madison High School Principal, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, at a rate of compensation of $86,722.85 for 260 annual days of service. Sally Rogus, under a three-year administrator's contract as Madison North Elementary Principal, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, at a rate of compensation of $79,409.07 for 205 annual days of service. Tom Brady, under a three-year administrator contract as Madison Middle School Principal, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, at a rate of compensation of $87,244.10 for 220 days of annual service. Shannon Kriegma, under a three-year administrator contract as South Elementary Principal, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, rate of compensation of $81,040 for 205 days of annual service. Patrick Smith, under a three-year supervisory administrative contract as maintenance supervisor, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, rate of compensation $55,734.99 for 260 annual days of service. Janet Maurer, under a three-year supervisory administrative contract as EMS coordinator, effective August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2019, at a rate of compensation of $41,836.90 for 260 days of annual service. To approve a supplemental limited contract for Robert Cerruti, effective April 1st, 2016, for work to be performed under the Technology Personal Services Agreement for Technology Personal Services between Madison and Berkshire at a monthly amount of $1,500. Approve a limited supplemental contract for Andrew Slepko, effective April 1st, 2016, for work to be performed under the Agreement for Technology Personal Services between Madison and Berkshire at an amount of $1,000. Approve a limited supplemental contract for Ashley Medwig, effective April 1st, 2016, for work to be performed under the Agreement for Technology Personal Services between the Madison Local School Districts and Berkshire at a monthly amount of $333.33. Approval of supplemental contract for Andrew Rybos, is that correct, Mike? effective April 1st, 2016, for work to be performed under the agreement for technology personal services between the Madison Local School District and Berkshire at a monthly amount of $333.33. Approve a supplemental limited contract for Robert Cerruti effective April 1st, 2016, for work performed under the agreement for technology personal services between Madison and the Newberry Local School District at a monthly amount of $1,000. Approval of supplemental limited contract for Anthony Slepko effective April 1st, 2016, for work to be performed under the agreement for technology personal services between Madison and the Newberry Local School District at an amount of $500. Approve a supplemental limited contract for Ashley Medwig effective April 1st, 2016, for work to be performed under the agreement for technology personal services between Madison Local School District and Newsbury at a monthly amount of $333. And to approve a supplemental limited contract for Andrew Dragos effective April 1st, 2016, for the work to be performed under the agreement for technology personal services between Madison and Newberry at the monthly amount of $333.33. And I need a drink of water. That was a long motion, a lot of motions.
Could you repeat that?
We need a second.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Larry Armstrong,
Yes.
Jacqueline Asbill,
Yes.
Sean Douglas,
Yes.
Michelle Hayes,
Yes.
Kelly Tromba,
Yes.
vote is 5-0.
All right. Motion C, asking you to approve the suspension of non-teaching personnel contract due to reorganization and for financial reasons. It would be abolishing the position of operations specialist. It would suspend the contract of Alan Skaggs effective May 1st, 2016.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Just for anyone who may be watching, who has not become aware, the changes we're making in the technology department, we are sharing services with several other districts with a team of people. We'll give Madison more resources to handle our IT so that we can move forward with the appropriate numbers of staffing and manpower that we need to try to bring things into the 21st century.
Roll call?
Jacqueline Asbill,
Yes?
Sean Douglas,
Yes.
Michelle Hayes,
Yes.
Kelly Tromba,
Yes.
Larry Armstrong,
Yes.
vote is 5-0.
The next item is something the OD has started the last several years, where you reauthorize participation in the policy of inter-district and intra-district enrollment pursuant to board policies 5113 and 5113.0.
So moved.
I'll second.
Questions and comments? Roll call?
Sean Douglas,
Yes.
Michelle Hayes,
Yes.
Kelly Tromba,
Yes.
Larry Armstrong,
Yes.
Jacqueline Asbill,
Yes?
vote is 5-0.
The next motion is what we talked about, to allow administration and exempt employees to donate no more than 3 sick days per calendar year to each collective bargaining unit sick leave bank, not to exceed 6 total days in a calendar year.
So moved.
I'll second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Michelle Hayes,
Yes.
Kelly Tromba,
Yes.
Larry Armstrong,
Yes.
Jacqueline Asbill,
Yes?
Sean Douglas,
Yes.
vote is 5-0.
And our next item, we have 2 resolutions. The first is a resolution recognizing and honoring students selected for the Madison chapter of the National Honor Society. There were 54 juniors and 3 seniors, for a total of 57 students tapped in on March 9th. Beginning with senior class members Sydney Adams and Cooper Wood. And they were selected to join the 72 existing members that were a part of National Honor Society this year. And then the second motion is a standard motion, so that if we are able to go back out to bid for buses, we're able to participate in the Ohio Schools Council bus purchasing program.
I'll move.
A second?
Questions and comments?
Congratulations to all the students.
One more time, just a great day. My favorite day, one of my favorite days of the year. Just is celebrates all that we're about: academics, service, leadership, character, all the things that we want a graduate of Madison High School to have.
Roll call?
Kelly Tromba.
Yes.
Larry Armstrong.
Yes.
Jacqueline Asbill.
Yes.
John Douglas.
Yes.
Michelle Hayes.
Yes.
Vote is 5-0.
The next item on the agenda is for the board to appoint Ms. Mary Ann Bittner as a member of the Madison Public Library Board of Trustees effective April 1st, 2016 through January 1st, 2023.
So moved.
I'll second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Larry Armstrong.
Yes.
Jacqueline Asbill.
Yes.
John Douglas.
Yes.
Michelle Hayes.
Yes.
Kelly Tromba.
Yes.
Vote is 5-0.
All right, on the consent calendar, there are several items this evening. The first is to adopt the 2016-2017 school year. Calendar is found on file and in your packet tonight pursuant to Board Policy 8210. To set the following preschool program tuition rates, including the sliding tuition fee schedule for 2016-17 school year effective August 15, 2016, pursuant to Board Policy 6152. And for the record, it reflects no rate increase, and it's comparable to what's going on in the region. To approve the contract between Madison Local School District and Willow Transportation to provide transportation for special education students and related services as deemed necessary for the 2015-16 school year. To approve the settlement agreement between the Madison Board of Education and the parents of a special needs student and provide the superintendent and treasurer authorization to carry out specific terms of that agreement. And then to enter into an interagency agreement with Lake Geauga United Head Start, Lake and Geauga County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Lake and Geauga County local education agencies, Help Me Grow of Lake Geauga County, and Starting Point for the 2016-2017 school year.
So moved. Second. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Jacqueline Asbill.
Yes.
John Douglas.
Yes.
Michelle Hayes.
Yes.
Kelly Tromba.
Yes.
Larry Armstrong.
Yes.
Vote is 5-0.
Okay, we are now to our second public participation of the evening. If any member of the audience would like to address the board, you can have your opportunity to do so now.
I'm gonna ask the public, do you wear an Auburn shirt over there?
Yeah,
What do you do in Auburn?
culinary arts.
How do you like it?
I like it.
Like a lot? What, how many years?
I'm junior, so
I just started. Good. Thought I saw that on the shirt.
Okay. Now, do you have a need for executive
I
session?
do that.
I actually have a need for hopefully a brief executive session. You do not need to be present, and you don't need to be present. I'm sorry, I probably should have told you all. I told Jacqueline I should have.
Which number?
It would be. It would be 1.
Just approve.
Just approve.
Oh, wait.
You need to.
And I will move, but you have to say more than you can.
Oh, yeah. The appointment, employment dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, roll call, please.
John Douglas.
Yes.
Michelle Hayes.
Yes.
Kelly Tromba.
Yes.
Larry Armstrong.
Yes.
Jacqueline Asbill.
Yes?
Vote is 5-0.
No, we are not coming back to the public.